Hello, so in my more recent video, I covered how to avoid dead hard, so I decided to make a guide for survivors this time on how to avoid tunneling. The first step is to either have competent or useless teammates. Either will work, because if you have competent teammates, they should do all the gens while you're being chased, so even if you get hooked, they can get to an exit gate and help you. Or if they're useless, just leave the killer to them and get the kill to tunnel them every time. But I get that teammates can be unpredictable, or you just want to be a nice teammate. If you're playing solo queue, those don't really exist, so I don't know why you'd want to be a nice teammate. But anyway, so before you even load into a game, you gotta run Decisive Strike, Unbreakable, Dead Hard, and Boon Circle of Healing. Well, maybe not Circle of Healing anymore. These are the essential perks to deal with getting tunneled. Who cares if you're not having fun anymore? It's not like you're gonna have fun anyway. You can instead have the thought of having that 1 in 20 game where you have a baby killer that you can bully. Just ignore the fact that the other 19 games will be extremely boring and unfun, even if you do make it out. Or maybe that constantly sweating will put you in a higher MMR with more tunneling and unfun matches. You can instead go into the endgame chat and complain about how the killer has no skill and should uninstall, because that always works and it's definitely better than just running a meme build and having fun. Now, this next step you could take to avoid being tunneled is more of a 50-50. Just get better at the game. When I say that, I mean get better at chases. If you give the killer a good first chase, he'll either avoid chasing you at all cost, or he'll tunnel you right out the game. Now, if you aren't good at chases, but still want to give a good first chase, here's what to do. Now, this is kind of a dick move, but if you're in solo queue, who cares? What you want to do is pre-drop basically every pallet you get to. The goal is to make the killer think that you're better than you actually are. If you've seen competitive DBD, most survivors pre-drop every single pallet. But let's be honest, none of you have watched competitive, because it's the most boring thing ever. But as long as you win, who cares? In order to make the killer believe that you're better than you actually are, so killers approaching from a distance, teabag and click a flashlight. This also brings me to my next point. Bring a flashlight every game. You don't need to be good with saves, or even go for saves at all. Just the threat of a flashlight will deter the killer. Or it'll piss him off and even more, and he'll tunnel you even harder, but that's not important. Now, what if you're so bad that you can't even do this without dying in 10 seconds? Well, try playing Blended with Urban, Bite the Bullet, and a medkit. You can hide in plain sight, or just in the corner of the map and let your teammates do the gens. Bring a key to ensure your survival, so if you get useless teammates who don't do gens, you could still escape. Or you can use a locker build to hide in lockers. Make sure to hide in the lockers in the basement. 100% of the time it works. Alright, the killer's coming over. Just gonna quickly hide in this locker real quick. Hopefully you can leave him away. Wait, why are you coming back? Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my god. Good thing I have head on, Jesus Christ. And now, oh my god, I missed the window now. Okay, so what if your teammates are getting tunneled? Well, it's pretty simple. They're dead to you. Do gens and forget about them. No one cares about them anyway. They probably won't get chased long enough for you to do all the gens, but you should be able to get a good bit done. When your teammates does get hooked, make sure that the killer's right behind you so that you could save in his face and get the tunnel teammate to safety. It's not like they tunneled for a reason and the killer will go for them again. Killers never do that. They all love getting 1Ks and making sure that survivor has a better experience. But let's say they're a toxic killer in tunnel anyway. It's always better to have your whole team take hits and let the killer snowball the match. The gens could be worried about later. The safety of this already dead survivor is worth getting the rest of the team killed. It's not like they're already dead and not doing gens will guarantee the killer at least 3K. Maybe you want your team to escape. Well, if your teammate is being tunneled, go into the killer's view, make sure he's watching you, and spam the point and wave thingy while teabagging. This will distract the killer and confuse him, so use this opportunity to let your teammate escape. Just make sure you have a pallet to get hit through so you can complain about how the killer's tunneling you and that you have a bad ping. Okay, but in all seriousness, tunneling isn't going anywhere, no matter how many counters there are. Something we can do to help mitigate this issue is to do the fucking gens. I've been getting chased for 2 minutes. What are these teammates doing? Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you must have at least enjoyed the video slightly. So how about subscribing? It's right there. If you absolutely hate the rest of my videos, just unsubscribe later. It won't cost you anything.